Now, please don't get me wrong. I want to be careful about what I say. I think this is super important to not get wrong, because just because something isn't producing good fruit doesn't automatically mean that the thing itself is bad. Because the problem might be, and often is, in us, in our misapplication of gospel principles. I love how Tyler Griffin, a BYU religion professor, put it. Imagine walking into a second grade classroom and observing students working on math worksheets who are making all sorts of mistakes. It would be wrong to then come to the conclusion that math is bad or math is broken by pointing out what you saw happening in that classroom. No, just because the students have a hard time perfectly applying the mathematical principles they've been taught does not mean that math itself is bad. The problem is in the students. Now, this is not because the seed was not good, neither is it because the fruit would not be desirable, but it is because your ground is barren and you will not nourish the tree, therefore you cannot have the fruit thereof. That's from Alma 32:39. I think this is a super important distinction to make, and I want to make sure to point it out because I don't want anyone to hear this and misapply what I'm saying and start assuming that genuinely good things are bad simply because they're not observing the fruits that they think they should be seeing. I feel like it's human tendency to just overgeneralize our findings based on inconclusive observations and to overlook other confounding variables or reasons why it might not be producing good fruit. Like, are you being too casual or neglectful in your approach? Are you neglecting the tree? Or is your timing off? Are you jumping to conclusions too soon? Perhaps the harvest is not yet, or the season hasn't come. The scriptures speak of our need to exercise, quote, diligence, patience, and long-suffering, waiting for the tree to bring forth fruit unto you. Or have you inadvertently wrested the scriptures or misunderstood something, leading you to misapply gospel principles? Or were other things inserted that were not good, and that's what took you off track? Just because Satan hijacks a train doesn't mean the train itself was bad to begin with. You just let him get his foot in the door, and that's when you started to derail. But sometimes it is because the thing itself is off, and I think it's important to recognize when this is the case. But in making that judgment, we should always keep the following counsel in mind. Wherefore take heed, my beloved brethren, that ye do not judge that which is evil to be of God, or that which is good and of God to be of the devil. And now, my brethren, seeing that ye know the light by which ye may judge, which light is the light of Christ, see that ye do not judge wrongfully, and if ye will lay hold upon every good thing and condemn it not, ye certainly will be a child of Christ. This is one of the reasons I've been so hesitant to come out and share my experience with this particular book, because honestly, I've had a lot of confusion about the book itself. Was it good or completely bad and should be avoided like the plague? I still don't know for sure how strong of a stance I should take, and so I want to be cautious about what I say about it. All I know is that I have felt to avoid it and to stop recommending it to people. At least for me, I feel like it was kind of a gateway drug that set me on a certain trajectory that could have led me off the straight and narrow path had I not caught myself in time. And unfortunately, that's the pattern I saw to be more common than not, which is in part why I've come to this conclusion. And again, I don't say that lightly, and there are many factors that went into this. Now, I'm not saying that everything in the book was bad. There was a lot of good mixed in there. And in a way, I'm grateful that I read it because it definitely awakened me to my own complacency when it comes to fully engaging in living in the gospel in some respects. And who knows, maybe a lot of those initial good fruits I felt I was experiencing were due to the actual good and true things in the book that were in line with the scriptures and which were leading me to a good place, because there were some true principles presented. But it took a while for some of the bad seeds and false ideas interwoven in there to start producing fruit for me to realize that something was definitely off.